I get up and I'm like, you know what, man, just forget this. I'm done with this. I start like, I put some clothes in my backpack. I check my accounts and everything, and I'm like, I'm running away from home. Like, I'm never coming back, and I'm leaving. So I go and I start driving, and I start driving, taking the 5 South. So I'm going down, and I'm just kind of like heading towards San Diego, Mexico, right? And I'm like, I'm not coming back. I'm done. No family ever again. I'm just gonna be like a free, independent person. I'll do whatever I want. So I'm driving down. All of a sudden, this 300ZX twin turbo comes and cuts me off and gives me the racing signal, right? And I'm just like, today, today of all days, today is the day you want to do this, right? And I was driving normal. I wasn't speeding or anything. I was just driving kind of normal. And all of a sudden, this guy just kind of cuts me off and just gives me the signal, right? Which is the emergency lights, right?
What color was the car? Do you remember?
It was a white, yeah. I remember.
It was white?
Yeah,
Okay.
white 300ZX. It wasn't you, was it?
No. I have a friend who drives a yellow one. I was like, maybe it was.
Yeah. So I'm going, and I'm about near Oceanside by that time. And I had
you're a ways away. That's like an hour drive.
Yeah, it's about an hour drive. Yeah. So I've been going for quite a while. I'm almost there, and I'm heading. I haven't even made a plan where I'm going to go. Either I'm going to get a hotel in San Diego, or I'm going to cross the border and just be in Mexico, right? So I'm on my way. I'm like, I'll figure this out later. Music is blasting, right? I got like Blink 182 on, and just like the songs that kind of spur your anger, even more.
Teenage angst to the extreme.
Exactly, So I'm going, and all of a sudden this guy comes in, and I'm just like, oh man, today of all days, you really want to pull this one? So I go, okay, fine, So I'm like, okay, I accept the challenge. So we start, and we're going, and the thing is, it was stupid of me too, because the 5 South, I don't know why my brain was not working properly. 5 South doesn't mean it's gonna be straight. Right? There's obviously curves and freeways. So I'm just thinking 5 South, all the way, it's just going to be a straight drive-through. So I disable traction control, right? And this is what you do when you race. I'm not going to give like racing advice or something
please
like
don't.
that.
I don't want that.
I don't want to set a bad example for other people. Let me tell you this. In retrospect, never ever disable traction control. It's there for a reason. And so are all the other, things that are there. So this is good.
The other things that he disables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it was actually raining a little bit that day too. So the streets were a little bit wet.
Yeah, that's definitely not smart.
Definitely not smart, right? So basically, I'm like, okay, this guy, I don't even care. This guy, I'm gonna take this guy out no matter what. Now, if you know cars, right? A 300ZX twin turbo is a sports car. Mm-hmm. It's got a sports suspension. It's designed to be sporty. Right?
Yeah.
An IS300 Lexus is a luxury car.
It's not a sporty car.
It's not a sports car.
A strong engine, but
it has a strong engine, but it doesn't have a sports suspension.
Yeah.
It has a very luxury suspension. It's designed to be like that. So what happens? It starts to wobble when you get over a certain speed, and I won't mention what that speed is, right? So the thing is, you shouldn't be going that fast in the first place. So this day, I'm just like, this work, I'm going 100%, right?
Oh, okay.
This guy is. This guy's going to go down, basically. And there's a bunch of traffic. So there's still traffic during that time. So we're cutting between cars, and we're just racing and everything. And all of a sudden, keeps on going for a while. And then it gets to a point where there's going to be this giant turn coming in. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, this guy's not going to beat me at this turn. So I try and take him at this turn. And when I go, I end up shifting like 2 lanes. And my car basically ends up doing a U-turn on the freeway.
Ooh.
At a very, very fast speed, which I don't mention for like legal reasons, right?
So you lose traction in the back wheels and you spin out.
Exactly. Okay. And it's rear-wheel drive, right? So you spin out, exactly. Yeah. So I spin out, I hit the center divider, and I hit like 3 other cars.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that incident that happened kind of got me to a point where I started thinking about what's going to happen. So what really bothered me was not so much the accident. What bothered me was 2 things. Number one, I walked out of there and I didn't have a scratch on me. Mm-hmm. So people came and started telling me, some of those aunties, they used to come and they're like, you know what? Allah saved you, son. Allah saved you. I'm like, I don't even believe in Allah, man. What are you talking about? So I'm telling you, Allah has saved you for a reason, and there's a purpose and this and that. I'm like, I don't really believe in that stuff, but
you just got lucky.
Exactly. But it kind of stayed in the back of my mind, mm-hmm. right? Is that going that fast, there was an aspect of, I got really, really lucky. Yeah. I got saved. So what ends up happening, I kind of pretend like I'm injured, okay? Because ambulance came, this and that, And I'm like, I realize I'm in big trouble.
So you don't want to be caught racing.
You don't want to be. I don't want to be caught racing. So
you can get charged with manslaughter in California.
That's what was happening. That's what was happening, right?
Yeah,
So police shows up, and I'm getting scared. So I'm like, oh yeah, my back is hurting and this and that. So I end up going to the emergency room, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, they did some X-rays and stuff like that. And I'm actually perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong with me. But I was just like, I don't know how to process this. I need to think about what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, my whole plan of running away from home is destroyed. Like, everything is destroyed. My car is destroyed. Everything is going to be messed up now. So this police officer comes, and he goes, I know how fast you were going. I have witness reports that say you were going, X amount of miles per hour, right? And I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. That's not true. And actually, it was true. But I'm like, no, that's not true. And he's like, look, I know you punk. He's like, look at a teenager, punk kid. Like, you kid, I'm going to make sure you go to jail. Like, I'm going to make sure that they press charges and you're going to jail because you should not be on the street.